make. Time for another rant outside because it is super pretty and I don't want to miss out. So there's been a lot of rhetoric going around on TikTok about Marvel movies are literally just military propaganda. And the side of me is like, okay, I can see how you would think that. I do understand. But the other part of me, and it's the mostly part of me, is like, get the fuck over yourselves and calm the fuck down. Honestly, it's something that's been spreading a lot. And so look, and I just really wanted to lay down some fucking facts because I feel like people are just really getting crazy about this. Now look, as a veteran who loves to shit on the government, and I probably still will in this video, I love to shit on the government and the military. Also as someone who worked in Air Force contracting, a former officer and a Marvel head, and someone who thinks that honoring Stan Lee's legacy is extremely important. So yes, the military does work with the government for equipment, for uniforms, stuff like that. But guess what? So does every fucking entity in Hollywood that wants to make any type of media depicting the military. Everybody ever. Like, please stop acting like this is something fucking new. This has gone back all the way to the 1930s, 1940s. It is absolutely nothing new. Now, the closest thing that I could see is propaganda is, you know, Captain Marvel, which I think the Air Force just really got a fucking hard on for that shit and was like, oh, we would like to use this to promote our diversity and everything. So I don't know how they finagled that in particular. That is propaganda. That one instance, honestly. And I honestly think that the Air Force's over involvement with that movie maybe is probably one of the contributing factors to it not being the most popular movie in the MCU franchise so far, but I digress. Here's the thing. Marvel has to enter into a contract with the United States government, and they have to pay for the use of all that equipment, not the other way around, okay? And I don't know if a lot of you knew this, but a lot of people didn't. Did you know that the United States military actually pulled support from Marvel for the first Avengers movie because it didn't show the United States Armed Forces in a good light? What am I talking about? I'm talking about that part where they literally chose to nuke Manhattan to get rid of the Chitauri, and Tony had to fly that missile up into the wormhole so they wouldn't hit Manhattan. They did not like it very much. I don't know exactly in what way they pulled support. I did research on all of this, by the way, and I remember it. I'm not sure exactly in what way they pulled support, but they definitely did pull support. And a lot of people will be like, yeah, see, look, they're supporting them. The military supports them. I'm like, they have to. For every fucking movie that depicts the military, every single one, you have to. Now, there is definitely, you know, which makes sense to me as a contracting officer, there are clauses in those contracts that say, like, you cannot depict the United States in this certain way and blah, 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 blah. But there's a lot of things, I feel like there are a lot of things that go into negotiating a contract, including Stan Lee's legacy and when he was alive. I don't know how involved he was in that, but staying true to why he wrote those characters, and a lot of those characters were very anti-war and anti-military. That's got to be something. And honestly, you know, the Marvel could get that equipment somewhere else, but if they wanted to be as realistic as possible, the military is the way that they're going to have to go. And honestly, I think that from the standpoint of the military, they're not going, yeah, it's marketing to them in a way, and they're not going to miss out on that. But inherently, I do not think that Marvel is fucking propaganda for the military. Like, have you watched any of the fucking movies? Like, a lot of those fucking plot lines are actually calling out the United States government on their bullshit. Steve Rogers did it on 2 occasions. Tony does it all the time. Like, and honestly, like, Captain America Winter Soldier is one of the movies that actually gave me the strength to leave the Air Force. Watching Steve go through that conflict and that realization that patriotism does not equal obedience. And that really rang true with me. So if anything, it helped me get the fuck out of the military. Let me see, what else? Also, government contracts. Here's the thing. Government contracts typically are written actually very poorly. extremely poorly. So even with that clause in there, I guarantee you that there are so many loopholes, and Marvel probably took advantage of that in order to create these plot lines. And it's probably more of a liability for the military to pull any more support from them than it is to just let them keep doing what they're doing. But like I said, Winter Soldier, Civil War, like, no, come on. A whole bunch of people are up in arms about this first scene in Falcon and the Winter Soldier where, you know, he's doing a search and rescue mission, and they're like, oh, they're trying to make it seem like violating international law is fucking fun. I'm like, first of all, if you were listening, and I might be wrong, I've only watched it twice, but the whole goal is to avoid going into international territory and not break international law. Like, that was literally the fucking point. Were you not listening? And also, one of the things that make Marvel so great is that they take this world of superheroes and they make it so realistic and so, like, applicable to us and our feelings and our society. And that's one of the things that makes Marvel great. So I ask you, motherfuckers, how realistic do you think it would be to have a superhero movie or superhero franchise without any involvement with the government, any involvement with the United States military? How exactly do you think that would fucking work? But I don't think people fucking think about that. You know, I feel like people are very quick to just see something, read into it without knowing too much, and then be like, I'm mad at it, and that's what that is. That is absolutely not. I'm really adamant about this because Marvel has actually saved my life countless times. And like I said, being in the military, I feel like I know propaganda when I see it. And in my opinion, this ain't it. And people need to calm the fuck down. Really, really, really need to calm the fuck down with that. Like I said, Steve Rogers taking down S.H.I.E.L.D., Steve Rogers refusing to sign the Sokovia Accords, like Tony walking away from his company's, you know, founding purpose, which was to be a government contractor for weapons, walking away from that and not participating in that again. Does that sound like propaganda for the military to you? Does it really? Does it? Like I said, these are my thoughts. And you know what? There might be some things that I don't know because the government is sneaky and Hollywood is sneaky. And I will nuance, and I will add that nuance that there is corruption in Hollywood and military up the wazoo. So there's things that we don't know, and there's a lot that I don't know, obviously. But from what I know, from my experience, and from my research, inherently, no, not fucking propaganda. Not at all. Like I said, if anything, it increased the desire for me to leave. I highly encourage people to just really do your research, honestly, and just chill out. And you need to pick your battles about what you want to direct your frustration towards. I also want to add that there is no perfect organization in this world. As long as you choose to live in this society, you will be contributing to a capitalist society, and you will be purchasing goods and services from companies that are far from ethical. If you want to be completely ethical, the way that some people pretend to be, you would have to go move to a desert island or something, because that's literally how it works. So like I said, yes, Marvel works with the government because they have to. Because they have to in order to utilize that equipment to make their movies look more realistic. And is it not realistic? Are these not realistic depictions of how a superhero would have to function within the armed forces or partner with the armed forces if they were real? Gotta think about that. And so without that element, what exactly do you guys what exactly are you guys expecting? Like, what do you want? You know, what exactly is it that should be in place of this? Or maybe you just don't like Marvel movies, and that's fine. But I'm trying to be here and give you guys some actual some actual facts of what happened. And I think, to me, the strongest one is the fact that Marvel Studios pulled support for the first Avengers movie, because it wasn't even straight up talking about the Air Force. It was talking about S.H.I.E.L.D., but they still fucking took that shit personally. I wonder why. I wonder why. Because in my opinion, I'm pretty sure that the United States will absolutely do something like that. I think they knew it and didn't like it. Marvel has been putting out anti-government plots for a long time now. And I feel like that's what people really need to fucking pay attention to. And they need to pay attention to what Stan Lee's original intent for these characters and storylines were. And him being involved with a lot of the MCU before he passed away. I'm not sure what his involvement was, but I'm pretty sure that staying true to his vision and staying true to why he created this world in the first place was a big non-negotiable part of continuing with production. I think people have a view, like an image of some fucking army colonel just looking over somebody's shoulder in the writer's room. Maybe that happens, but I'm gonna fucking say not likely. Marvel is an independent company. They can do literally whatever they want. The government can also end a contract for any reason just because they want to. And I wonder if that's what they did with the first Avengers movie, because they did not like that missile shit. They did not like that nuke shit at all. They were bothered. So I just wanted to give you guys some facts for that. And also just another general fucking piece of advice. Please calm down. Like, not everything is worth your fucking anger. Just because, like, at this point, people are just trying to find ways to be miserable and not enjoy things. And that is my take on it. So whatever your thoughts are whatever your thoughts are. But in my opinion, inherently, no, I don't think it's propaganda, and people need to chill the fuck out.